Good morning everyone. Today we will study chapter 6 friction. In this chapter we will study what is the force of friction, the factors affecting friction, what are the causes of friction, the kinds of friction, why friction is called a necessary evil, what is the fluid friction, and the ways to increase and reduce friction. So let's start. First of all, let us understand what is force of friction. A ball rolled on the ground gradually slows down and finally stops, even when no one has stopped it. This invisible force responsible for such an occurrence is called the force of friction. Let us try to understand it with the help of this activity. Take one book, place it on a smooth table. Now apply some force on this book. You will observe that the book stops after moving for some distance. Why did this happen? Because book stopped after moving for some distance. That means a force must be acting on this book opposing its motion. Okay. And this force is called force of friction. That means when we applied force on this book in this direction, the book got stopped after moving for some distance, because force of friction was acting between the surface of book and surface of table, and the force of friction, it always acts in the direction opposite to the direction of motion of object. So the force of friction, it always opposes the applied force. Frictional force opposes the relative motion between the two bodies in contact, irrespective of the direction of motion. What is relative motion? Relative motion means motion of an object with respect to another moving or stationary object. Okay, as we saw in this case, when someone applied force on this book in this direction, okay, so the book got stopped after moving for some distance, because frictional force was acting between the surface of book and surface of table in this direction. That means in the direction opposite to the direction of motion of book. Now repeat the activity, but now this time apply the force in opposite direction. That means in this direction. In this case also, the book will stop after moving for some distance, because in this case also frictional force will act in the direction opposite to the direction of motion of book. So what we can conclude, frictional force, it always opposes applied force. If you will apply force in this direction, then frictional force will apply in this direction, because frictional force, it always opposes applied force, and it always acts in the direction opposite to the direction of motion of object. Now after understanding this force of friction, now let us see what are the factors that affect friction. Okay, so is the frictional force same for all the surfaces? Does frictional force depend on smoothness of the surfaces? Let us try to find out the answer of these questions. But before that, we need to understand what is a spring balance, because to get the answer for these questions, we will do one activity, and for this spring balance will be used. So it is important to understand what is spring balance. Spring balance is a weighing balance used to measure force acting on an object. It consists of a coiled spring which gets stretched when a force is applied to it. So when a force will be applied to it, so the coiled spring, it will get stressed, because of which the pointer will move on the scale. Okay, here you can see there is one scale. So the pointer will show some reading on the scale, and the reading of the scale will give us the measure of force acting on an object. So spring balance is a weighing balance used to measure the force acting on an object. Now let's try to find out the answer of the question, that is frictional force same for all the surfaces? Okay, let us perform one activity. Take one wooden block with one hook. Place it on a smooth table. Now, attach spring balance to the hook of wooden block. Now pull this wooden block with the help of this spring balance. Apply the force using this spring balance till the time wooden block just begins to slide. So in this case, let's say you have got the reading on this spring balance. Let's say you have got the reading 50 GF. GF means gram force. Okay. So this reading on the spring balance is a measure of force of friction acting between the surface of wooden block and the surface of table. Now repeat the same activity, but this time keep a sandpaper on wooden table. Now keep the wooden block on this sandpaper. Now repeat the activity and record the reading on the spring balance. Now you will notice that the spring balance will record more frictional force. That means in this case now the reading will be more. Let's see one more situation. Now we have sprinkled some talcum powder on the wooden table and now place the wooden block on the table and now try to pull this wooden block with the help of the spring balance. Now you will notice that in this situation, now the value of the frictional force in this case will be less. These are the reading of the three different scenarios. In the first case, the reading on the spring balance was 50 GF. 50 GF means 50 gram force. In this situation, in the first scenario, the reading on the spring balance was 50 gram force. Okay. And in this scenario, in the second case, the reading of the spring balance was 70 GF. Here you can notice that because in this case, now wooden block has been placed on a sandpaper. It is a rough surface. Okay. So in case of the rough surface, the value of the frictional force is more. But in this situation, we have sprinkled some talcum powder on the wooden block, on the wooden table, which has made the surface more smooth. Okay. And in this case, we got the reading 40 GF, which is less in all the three cases. Okay. So it clearly indicates that the smoother surfaces offer less resistance and rough surfaces offer more friction. Okay. Friction means resistance. So the force of friction, it depends on the nature of surfaces in contact. Smoother surfaces offer less friction, whereas rough surfaces offer more friction. Okay. So this was the answer of this question, that is frictional force same for all the surfaces? No. Frictional force is more in case of rough surfaces and frictional force is less in case of smooth surfaces. Now, as we are studying factors affecting friction, now we will see that force of friction, it also depends on the weight of the object which moves. Okay, let us try to understand it with the help of another activity. Now the situation is same. Take one wooden table. Now keep wooden block with a hook on the table. Now try to pull this wooden block with the help of the spring balance and note down the reading on the spring balance. The reading on the spring balance is a measure of frictional force acting between the surface of wooden block and the surface of table. Now here, let's say here the reading is 50 GF. 50 GF means 50 gram force. Okay. Now put some weight on this wooden block. Now again apply force and try to pull this wooden block. Now in this case, you will notice that the reading on the spring balance will be more. It will be more than 50 because now we have put one weight on the wooden block, which has increased the weight of wooden block. So in this case, the reading on the spring balance will be more as compared to this case. So it clearly indicates that as the weight of wooden block increases, magnitude of the frictional force increases. So it clearly indicates that force of friction also depends on the weight of the object which moves. Now we will study causes of friction. Why friction happens? Number one is due to interlocking between the surfaces. Friction is caused by the irregularities on two surfaces in contact. Even those surfaces which appear very smooth have a large number of minute irregularities on them. Minute means very small. Here you can see that this wooden table, it is very smooth. Okay, the surface of this wooden table is very smooth, and the surface of this book is also smooth. But if you will try to see the contact point between this book and this wooden table, if you will try to see it with the help of the microscope, you will observe that there are irregularities. This is the microscopic view of the irregularities. So even those surfaces which appear very smooth, they have large number of minute irregularities on them. Minute means very small. So irregularities on the two surfaces, they lock into one another. Okay, here you can see that irregularities on two surfaces, they lock into one another. And when we try to move any surface, we have to apply a force to overcome interlocking. Okay, so this diagram, it clearly indicates that friction is caused by the irregularities on the two surfaces in contact. Okay, now let us try to understand what is the another cause of friction. Due to force of adhesion between the two surfaces. When two surfaces placed in contact with each other, atoms and molecules in contact with each surface, they attract each other with a force called force of adhesion. Okay, so when a body moves over another surface, adhesive force opposes the motion, and which gives rise to frictional force. So the adhesive force between the two surfaces gives rise to force of friction. So this was all about the causes of friction. Now we will study kinds of friction. There are three kinds of friction. That means there are three types of friction. Number one, static friction, sliding friction, rolling friction. Now we will study about static friction. The force required to overcome friction at the instant an object starts moving from rest is a measure of static friction. Let us try to understand it with the help of this example. We want to move this sofa, so apply some force on the sofa in this direction. But you will observe that the sofa doesn't move because a frictional force equal to the amount of applied force but in the opposite direction has come into picture between the surfaces, because of which the sofa doesn't move. Now increase the force a little bit. You will notice that the sofa doesn't move. Okay. This force, static friction, it is self-adjusting force, because when I increase the applied force, the frictional force has also got increased so as to adjust it. But now increase the force more. You will notice that at one stage the sofa begins to move. Okay, because now applied force has overcome frictional force. When the applied force will be more than the static frictional force, the sofa will begin to move. Okay, so the force required to overcome friction at the instant an object starts moving from rest is a measure of static friction. Now let us try to understand sliding friction. Sliding friction means the force required to keep the object moving with the same speed is a measure of sliding friction. As we saw in the previous case, after applying a certain amount of force, the sofa begins to move. Continue applying the force so that the sofa keeps on sliding on the floor at a steady speed. Okay, so the force required to keep the object moving with the same speed, it is a measure of sliding friction. Okay, but sliding friction is slightly less than static friction. Why is it so? Because When sofa starts sliding, the contact points on its surface do not get enough time to lock into the contact points on the floor. So, sliding friction is slightly smaller than the static friction. Okay, because we know that the friction is caused because of interlocking between the surfaces. So, the sliding friction, it is slightly less than the static friction. Then what is this rolling friction? When one body rolls over the surface of another body, the resistance to its motion, resistance means opposition, resistance to its motion is called rolling friction. Let us try to understand it with the help of this example. Here you can see that this is a luggage bag, its weight is 25 kg. Try to slide it on the floor. Okay. Now take take another luggage bag of the same weight, and in this luggage bag the wheels are fitted to it. Okay, so now tell me in which situation less amount of force will be required to move the luggage bag. Obviously in this case where the wheels are fitted to the luggage bag. So the wheels, they reduce friction, because here you can see that in case of sliding friction, here all the points of this luggage bag, they are in contact with the floor. So here interlocking of irregularities will be more, so here friction will be more. Okay, but in case of rolling friction, here you can see that the point of contact between the rollers and the surface of the floor is very less, so here the friction will be very less. Wheels reduce friction. Okay, now let us try to find out. So let us try to understand which friction is more. Static friction is more than the sliding friction, and rolling friction. Rolling friction is least in all these three types of friction. Now we will see why friction is called a necessary evil. Because friction has both good and bad aspects. Means friction has both advantages and disadvantages. When one object moves over the other, the friction between them shows the following effects. For example, wear and tear of the machine parts are caused due to the friction. Friction causes the wear and tear of the machine parts. That means friction causes damage to the machine parts. And the soles of shoes wear out because of the friction between the ground and the shoes. You might have noticed, if you keep on wearing the same shoes for 6 months, you will notice that the soles get damaged, or we can say the soles of the shoes wear out because of the friction acting between the ground and the shoes. And heat is produced by friction. We know that when we rub our palms for some time, they become warmer because friction produces heat. Similarly, when you strike a matchstick against the rough surface, it catches fire. So, heat is produced due to friction. And we have studied that motion is opposed by friction, because frictional force, it always opposes the applied force. So, it opposes motion. We are able to write on paper because of the friction between the pen, pencil and paper. If there is no friction, we will not be able to write on paper. Next is, we are able to walk on the road because there is frictional force acting between the ground and the soles of our shoes. We know that if there is water on the floor, or we can say on the wet floor, it is very difficult to walk, because we know that smooth surfaces offer less resistance. So we are able to walk on the road because there is frictional force acting between the ground and the soles of our shoes. So we have seen that friction is in some situation friction is good for us, and in some situation it is not good. For example, we are able to walk on the road because of friction, we are able to write on paper because of friction. Heat is produced by the friction. In some cases it is good, but in some cases, like machine parts, they get heated when they are used for few hours, which is the wastage of energy. But when we are striking the matchstick against the rough surface, it catches fire. So somewhere it is good and somewhere it is not good. So friction has both good and bad aspects. Now we will study fluid friction. But before understanding this, let us understand what is fluid. Fluid means something that can flow. So the gases and liquids are fluids. When a solid body moves in a liquid or a gas, surface of the solid experiences friction. But the force of friction between a solid surface and a gas is less than the force of friction between a solid surface and liquid surface. And if we talk about the gases, air is the most common gas and water is the most common liquid in our daily life. So the fluids exert force of friction on the objects in motion through them. And this frictional force exerted by the fluids is also called drag. For example, aeroplane is flying in the sky. So air is exerting friction on the aeroplane. Okay, so the fluids exert force of friction on the objects in motion through them. Next is frictional force also depends on the shape of objects. So this is the reason that bodies of ships, boats and aeroplanes, they are made streamlined to minimize the force of friction with the medium they travel. Streamlined body means they are narrow at the end and broad in the middle. So the bodies of ships, boats and aeroplanes, they are made streamlined so as to minimize the force of friction with the medium they travel. Okay, so this was about the fluid friction. Now we will see how we can increase and reduce the friction. Because we know that in some situations friction is desirable, means it is good for us. So how we can increase the friction? Number one, by making the surface rough. So we know that rough surfaces offer more friction. For example, these are the tires. Here some patterns are made on the tires so as to make the surface of tire rough. So as to make it rough. Rough surfaces have more grip. Okay, so by making such kind of patterns on the tires, they have a better grip on road. So by making the surface rough, we can increase the friction. Second is by increasing the mass of the object that is moving, because force of friction, it also depends on the weight of the object that is moving. Now after understanding this, now let us try to understand how we can reduce friction. Because we know that in some situations friction is undesirable. That means it is not good. So how we can reduce the friction? Let us try to understand. Number one is by polishing the surfaces. So the rough surfaces can be made smooth by polishing, and we know that smooth surfaces offer less friction. Okay, so by polishing the surfaces, we can make them smooth, and smooth surfaces offer less resistance, or we can say less friction. Next is by streamlining the bodies. To reduce fluid friction, aeroplanes, sailboats, etc., they are shaped into streamlined body. Next is by applying oils, greases or lubricants on the surfaces. The use of oils, greases or lubricants on the surfaces makes the surface smooth. So what happens when we use them? When the oil, grease or lubricant is applied between the moving part of a machine, then a thin layer is formed there. And the moving surfaces now do not directly rub against each other. So because of which interlocking of the irregularities, they are avoided to a great extent, and because of which movement becomes smooth. So by applying oils, grease or lubricants on the surfaces, we can make the surfaces smooth, which will reduce the friction. By sprinkling a soft slippery powder on the surface, we can make the surface smooth, which will ultimately reduce the friction. Next is ball bearings reduce friction. Here you can see that these are the ball bearings. Here you can see that this is one layer and this is another layer, and inside this you can see that there are small balls are there. So with the help of these balls, the sliding has been replaced by rolling. If these balls are not present between these two surfaces, then these two surfaces, this one and this one, they will directly slide against each other. And we know that sliding friction is more than the rolling friction. So here with the help of these small balls, the sliding has been replaced by rolling friction because rolling friction is less than the sliding friction. So the ball bearings reduce friction. And the last is wheels reduced friction. So we know that rolling reduces the friction. So when the wheels they are attached to the luggage bags or to any other object, it reduces the friction. So this was all about how we can reduce friction. Here chapter 6 is over. It is complete. Thank you.